So, what are some nutritional sources for iron?
Iron is actually found in a lot of foods, both plant foods and meat sources. Uh, and it's also found. It's also fortified in some sources. For example, infant cereals have iron in them. Um, the most bioavailable, meaning the iron that is most easily absorbed, is from meats. But of course, we don't feed meats to babies in their first 6 months. After 6 months, that becomes an important source for the babies. So, iron is also found in legumes, it's found in leafy vegetables. Um, I think it's important, just as much as considering whether there is iron in the food, it's important to be aware that there are inhibitors and enhancers of iron absorption. In other words, you can take your iron in your diet, but there are factors that decide whether that iron is going to get absorbed or not. So, for example, iron that comes from grains, even though the grains may be rich in iron, there are compounds in the grains called phytates that keep the iron from being absorbed very efficiently. So it ends up not being a very bioavailable source. That's not true for meats. For meats, actually, the iron is very bioavailable. Tea, just plain old tea, inhibits iron absorption tremendously. And I don't know how common that is, let's say, in the United States. Different populations drink different amounts of tea. In India, for example, where tea is drunk a lot, this is a significant reason for iron deficiency in children. Yes, children do drink tea. On the other hand, vitamin C, so orange juice or whatever source you would like, enhances iron absorption. So that's a good way to ensure that whatever source you're using is maximally absorbed. I'd make the point that many pediatricians, family docs, healthcare practitioners will will tell moms that they can start complementary foods either at 6 months or 4 to 6 months, sometime in there. And one of the first foods that gets started is are cereals. And those cereals are fortified with what's called electrolytic iron. So it's just iron that's added to the cereal. It isn't very bioavailable, but it's better than getting nothing. The research really shows that when you hit 6 months, when the baby hits 6 months, they really need a strong source of iron. At that point, the iron that's in mom's milk just simply will not sustain the iron needs of the baby. And all of the stores that they had from birth have now run out. So at 6 months, it's important to start a good source of iron.